Wake up YouTubers, it's Compass Cat. I'm here to introduce the Undertaker Navigator's top 10 tennis days in his life. Let's get to it. Here's number 1. As a member of the U.S. Air Force Reserves, the Undertaker Navigator flew out of Charleston Air Force Base, SC from February 1974, to the end of his U.S. Air Force career in June 1976. The most routine mission was Charleston to Rota Naval Station near Cadiz, Spain, the oldest habitually inhabited city in all of Europe. This ancient city dates back over 3,000 years to the Phoenicians. The old section of Cadiz is just a short distance from the base. The most common mission routine flying out of Rota was to shuttle between various military bases scattered around the Mediterranean. Flying to a half a dozen destinations would take several exhausting days, therefore on the return to Rota, the C-141 crew would get 24 hours off. On a previous mission, the Undertaker Navigator took that opportunity to take a bus into Cadiz from the Naval Air Station. That is when he stumbled onto a single lovely clay tennis court, snuggled among the old buildings of Cadiz. This video describes his return to that court, and his encounter with two very kind hospitable Spanish gentlemen. This chance meeting was one of his best tennis days. The winds of time will never diminish the memory of my favorite day on a tennis court on that beautiful Mediterranean afternoon in one of the most historic and lovely cities in all of Europe. Two perfect strangers, two perfect gentlemen, me, and a game that transcends every cultural barrier known to man. A day I will cherish forever. My best day in tennis. The Campus Cat has decided to accommodate the Undertaker Navigator and let him recount this story in his American first-person voice. I certainly hope he doesn't screw it up, because it'll be his last time being allowed to talk to you directly. That's not a threat, that's a promise.
The top 10 best tennis days of my life. Number 1. Hitting 1 against 2 on a warm bright Mediterranean day in Cadiz, Spain, sometime in 1976. It was not a competition, it was a glorious exchange between strangers who became friends in a 3-hour hit. I found myself with a whole day off on Rota Naval Air Station and headed for Europe's oldest continuously occupied city, Cadiz, Spain. Found a local bus and within 45 minutes I was wandering the ancient narrow streets of this Mediterranean jewel. Headed for the old section of the city, where I had previously found an isolated clay court among the ancient stone and adobe buildings. When I arrived, 2 older Spanish gentlemen were enjoying a gentle hit. They wonderfully and immediately recognized my presence. Without hesitation they waved for me to join them. What wonderful hospitality, we had yet to speak a word to one another. To use a trite phrase, it was surreal. I laid down my backpack, took out a 4-ball can of Dunlop tennis balls. I knew the gentlemen spoke no English, and I spoke no Spanish. That didn't matter. The game of tennis would do the talking and interpreting. A wonderful smile decorated their tan and aging faces, as I popped 4 brand new yellow balls out of their can. We easily used hand signals to configure the exchange of myself hitting against the 2 of them. This lasted for over 3 hours in the glorious Mediterranean sun. For a passionate ex-college player and now teaching professional, still flying in the U.S. Air Force Active Reserves, this was heaven on earth. Hopefully you can see why I rate this as the best tennis day of my life. These gentlemen had never seen a 4-ball can and were excited for us to all start rallying back and forth with little being said, except for an occasional complimentary bravo, coming from one of the Spaniards. This would occur when I would run down one their better shots, and rip a non-returnable shot, producing lots of smiles and laughter. What a beautiful day. We clearly hit for over 3 hours, and when we parted, I had 2 new Spanish friends. They had 1 new American friend, without having had one meaningful conventional conversation. Amazing. I cannot remember ever having a nicer time on any tennis court ever. It was indeed surreal. I headed back to Rota, luckily catching the last bus of the day going that direction. Those 2 old guys had ran my ass off, and I loved every second of it. This memory resides in my brain and has never faded. When you experience such a gorgeous day totally in sync with 2 other human beings, that memory is etched deeply in your brain, and I will fight like hell to never lose it.